What are my universal rights under government? There's something very wrong about this question, but I'll come back on it in a little bit. From January 2003 to January 2004, I had the experience of having to face death. Lost about 40 pounds in about 40 to 50 days. And after that, my system continued on breaking down. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. The doctors didn't know what to tell me because clinically everything was okay. Eventually, life left me with no one to depend on, in the sense that no one knew what to do or how to do it. Long story short, life itself taught me a valuable lesson. I learned that pain and fear were already present and that they always would be. But neither fear or pain had the power to be my master. I learned that to focus on becoming my own master was the most important thing in life, because then you can become truly free. And what is a human being without freedom? I came out of this experience, and ever since, I have been sharing this message. Now, I would like to ask you a few questions. If it feels that it applies to you, please just raise your hand. Has anyone ever insulted you? Has anyone ever cheated on you? Aye. Okay. But what about the other way around? Have you ever insulted someone? Have you ever cheated on someone? I don't hope a few people will be taking a bus home tonight. Okay, let's look at the positive side. Has anyone ever made you feel loved, gifted, wanted? Let's turn that around. Have you ever made someone feel loved, gifted, and wanted? Very basic, right? Very basic. You know, I ask this because basically we don't want to get hurt, but how often do we hurt ourselves and even others? We want to be loved, but how often do we really love ourselves or even others? Subconsciously, most of the time, we say, they are doing this to me, but actually, we are doing it to each other all the time. So, this energy of pain, fear, love, joy, this is what connects us. This is what binds us. This is what makes us all equal. This is universal to me. We haven't created our own bodies and personalities. They have been created by an invisible, limitless, boundless, spaceless, timeless, incomprehensible, and very powerful force. Therefore, a universal right to me is the most immeasurable virtue inherent to our very existence, driven by the force of freedom that no man has created or is able to. Therefore, no man has the right to give or take away these universal rights because they are not his to give away in the first place. To be more specific, I want to talk about the three basic universal rights, what they mean to me and what they are to me. And of course, what rights the government of people definitely do and should not have. Okay. The right to prosper. As a free individual, you and you alone are free to decide on how to spend the fruits of your labor, in which case the government has no right to tax your income. No man has the right to force another man to give up part of his earnings simply because the enforcer claims to know best on how to spend it in order to create a better society. We are trained to believe that it is normal that we can be forced to pay taxes, even when we're not really sure what this money is being spent on. Poverty, crime, violence, invasions in countries, and wars have worsened. So, being forced to pay taxes is not normal. We are trained to believe that it is normal that we can be forced to pay taxes, even though we never really, excuse me. Yeah. We are trained to believe that it is normal that we can be forced to pay taxes, even though we never really have given our consent in the first place. Can we truly speak of freedom when we can be forced to pay for something we have never given our consent for? So being forced to pay taxes is not normal. The second universal right is the right to protect yourself at all costs, under any circumstance, against anyone, regardless of their title or status. The government does not have the right to monopolize and or justify violence. No man has the right to arm himself, disarm others, and then impose laws which grant him the justification of force on those who are non-violent. Secondly, no one has the right to force another or a child of another to go into an army to learn how to kill for whatever reason. We are trained to believe that it is normal that a group of strangers can dictate our lives just by writing down a few words and then backing these words up with guns. Can we truly speak of justice when the ones who swore to serve and protect us have the power to intimidate, assault, or even kill us, simply when we disagree? This is not normal. Freedom of speech and expression, the third universal right. Pretty obvious, your thoughts are yours and yours alone. The government does not have the right to censorship, especially when it is the obvious truth. To censor others and then saying that you are here to serve is illogical. It's also not normal. These self-proclaimed rights of government are no acts of leadership, they are acts of tyranny. True leadership is when people, out of their own free will, want to go along with the plan or idea of a so-called leader. Free will, based on creativity and logic, not based on fear, backed up by force. You see, when the right to force becomes the norm, creativity, logic, and consent become unnecessary. It becomes dangerous, simply because why do I have to be creative when everybody else just has to do everything I say whenever I want? Within the concept of government, we are trained to believe in the assumption that a small group of people somehow do have the right or the power to limit these rights or to take away them, to take away or give them. Because we somehow believe that these people have superpowers which enable them to create better societies. But has the political machine really created a better world? The personality of a group of individuals, in this case the politicians, determine the personality of the political machine. The reality of the political machine, as we know it today, became possible when the individuals who created the system had personalities motivated by fear, pain, and greed. That's why this machine has a chain of command, top to bottom. We all know words like the Honorable blah blah, First Lady, and the authorities. Therefore, not based on equality. And in order for inequality to function, force and submission are necessary. And where there's force and submission, given enough time, there is conflict and destruction. This is not strange for this political machine, because how can we expect love from a machine built on pain and fear? I spoke about tax because money is power in the system. And if we keep giving away our powers simply because we believe that government has the right to force tax out of us, no matter what the situation, the political machine will stay alive, and we will never experience our universal rights to the full extent. Freedom of speech is not possible without the art of understanding. And as long as we do not focus on turning our fear and pain into love, we will not be able to understand each other. We will not be able to see and trust the beauty of who we really are, because pain and fear are our masters, and force their instrument. Only when we understand that we do not have the right to force one another, only then we can coexist. Only then we can all prosper and live in peace. We seem to forget that man was here first. Then came the political machine. So, a change is possible. In order for this change to happen, we have to re-examine and reevaluate our perspective on love, educate ourselves on loving ourselves and each other. We have mastered the science of technology, but not yet the mystery of love. We can send rockets to the moon, but when it comes down to loving ourselves and each other, we seem to be like lost puppies. Look at a simple thing between the love between two lovers. In the beginning, it starts off so beautiful, so tender, so pure. Give it enough time, it becomes something ugly, gruesome, sometimes even dangerous. So, what do we know about love? What has been taught to us all these centuries about love? Is our perception of love really based on love? I think it is time for us to really study the meaning of true love, respect, self-respect, independence, free will. We really have to study what our place is in society. What is your place in society? What is my place in society? Again, is it logical that a few people can just write down a few words and then dictate our lives? And on what grounds? So in conclusion, we should not be asking, what are my universal rights under government? We should understand and we should believe in the following statement. My universal rights above government are all the rights derived from my universal freedom. I'm going to end my talk now with the following questions. Are pain and fear the dominant factors in your everyday life? Are your universal rights really yours right now? Are you your own master? Are you truly free? Thank you.